Namaskar, good afternoon and very warm welcome to all our viewers and learners in this live phone-in session of CIT and CRT. I am Renu Bhatt and you are with us live on PM eVidya channels from channel number 6 to 12 and on our NCRT official YouTube channel. And dear learner, this is our special session of webinar where we come up with so many different topics related to ICT tools, and on every Tuesdays and Thursdays we discuss and celebrate a journey of National Awardee, ICT Awardee, and in this series we have our National ICT Awardee with us. Let's meet her. You are Miss Harminder Kaur Suri. You are headmaster from Kendriya Vidyalaya Dapar SAS Nagar, Mohali, Punjab, Chandigarh region. Very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
And dear learners, along with that, let me give you all a brief intro about ma'am. She won National ICT Award in 2010, and you got International Award by US Oracle on designing a website on 2009. Indie Education Award 2008 for Excellence in Education by EQFI, and many more awards. Her many articles published in different magazines, and she is an innovative Microsoft educator also. So, dear learner, this is a brief about our ICT awardee, and if you want to ask any question or if you have any query, feel free to connect to us. You can call us on our telephone number, that is 8800440559. Either you can drop a mail at our email address, that is training.helpdesk@cit.nic.in. And if you have joined us through our live streaming, that means you are on our NCRT official YouTube channel. Go to the live chat box and drop your comment out there. Our expert will be happy to answer all your queries. And if you want to share your experience, feel free to connect to us. So, ma'am, we all are very eagerly waiting for you to tell us more about your journey, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, good evening to all the viewers. I am Harminder Kaur Suri, as told by ma'am. So, here is, I begin with from my journey from schooling to merit position in the university. If I speak about and I recall my old days down the memory lane, I remember going to a school in the village in Hoshiarpur district with a slate plant or a wooden plant smeared with fuller earth, and writing was with the reed pen. That was the step one into the formal schooling. Those memories are still fresh with me till now. To further schooling, the formal schooling started as a KVN. I am a proud KVN because KVs are a long chain of organization both India and abroad, with its headquarters at New Delhi. Now it is run by Ministry of Education, Government of India. So as a student, I had a really great advantage, rather it served as a boon, to be a cross-cultural exchange during my childhood. KV Kalaikunda near Kharagpur, KV Hasimara, it's in the border of Bengal and Bhutan, KV Manauri near Allahabad, KV1 Hindon near Ghaziabad, KV number 1 Alwara near Ludhiana, and finally my 12th I did from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Fort William, Calcutta. As an alumni of KV, it was my privilege to be in the KV once again for the job. I graduated from esteemed University of Calcutta with botany, zoology and chemistry to my credit. Bachelor of Education I did from University of Kurukshetra, by the grace of God, merit position in the university and having the teaching of life and physical science and B.Ed. Online graduation in project-based learning also I added to my credit to enhance my professional competence from US Oracle. Coming to my work job or the job nature, I had many jobs, but to mention that, one is the TGT chemistry. I worked for 5 years in Air Force School, Ambala, Kent, after doing my B.Ed. And I joined KVS. My first transfer was Kendriya Vidyalaya Air Force Station, Sirsa, Gurugram region, now as a primary teacher. Over the period of journey in the years in the KVS, I cleared departmental exam, competed and got promoted as headmaster on 14 February 2011 in the KVS. Now this new designation where I at present includes teaching as well as academic supervision. So academic supervision and teaching, I can say, is the forte of new job I am holding, new post I am holding. While being a KVN and working in the KV, I have served many Vidyalayas like Kendriya Vidyalaya Sirsa, which was my first joining. Kendriya Vidyalaya number 2 was my parent school, of course, where I spent 12 and a half years of my career, for the golden period. KV number 4, Kendriya Vidyalaya Barnala in Punjab, and Kendriya Vidyalaya Group Center, CRPF, Pinjore, and presently I am working in Kendriya Vidyalaya Tappa, Mohali. Now coming to my, how I learned my ICT, how the ICT journey or the skills began. It began actually from my elder brother, who was abroad at that time when ICT came into force in India. He used to teach me silly concepts of, email by writing, and I used to chat with him. Those were one of the days down the memory lane. Then, of course, professionally enters beginner curriculum. Teaching us MS Office was as a handy tool for me. Microsoft made me learn by routing through, different projects and different activities like ITLA activities, conferences, off and on meetings. So it helped us to grow. Intrinsic and motivation and the passion that occurred in the learning. The need of the hour, as it is said, is roti, kapda, and makan. I mean, the food, clothing, and housing. But I would say that in the 21st century, internet or the netizens is also need of the hour. I would like to quote here, though this journey was very smooth, but I also learned a lot from my critics over the journey. So thanks to them also. Of course, an innate urge to excel over others helped me to grow over the period of time. When I was posted from Sirsa to Ambala, during one of the workshops which was conducted for primary teachers of Chandigarh region, I happened to be a resource person here. And I carried out many science activities based on the psychomotor skills, which is primarily my teaching area, science and mathematics, for the teachers of Chandigarh region. So there I had an opportunity to, give the recording for All India Radio, that is Prasar Bharati Kurukshetra. 5 of us, I was one, PRT, were interviewed on pedagogy of teaching practices, which was adopted. And that itself was a thrilling and unique experience in my journey. It is said that it doesn't look humble to speak about your own self, but that is how I haven't given any certificates over here. I would say that it is not my pride, but his credit. All credit goes to the Supreme Almighty. As ma'am has mentioned in the introduction, I happen to be, by his blessings, an international awardee, winning honorable mention by Oracle US in 2009. I remained Asia Pacific winner and represented India at Hanoi, Vietnam by Microsoft 2007. Those memories and the souvenirs are still fresh in my mind, and the souvenirs that plays a very important place in my study also. Also, courtesy Microsoft, I represented for Global Teachers Meet at Hong Kong in 2008, which was, really a unique experience. In a way, like cross-cultural exchange with people from different people, nearly 100 people from the various continents, speaking different languages. There were many those who could not speak English also. So the different food habits, staying together for a week, roughly a week over there at Hong Kong, different food habits. I, being strictly vegetarian, did face some of the problems, but adjusting that is what the life teaches us. So that multicultural made me that world is really a very small place to live in. National Award winner at Innovative National Educative Award by Microsoft in 2007. Also, I have a couple of states award by Microsoft. India Education Award 2008 by EQFI for excellence in education. Then over the journey, I won National Winner Tata Consultancy Services Education World Teacher Award 2009. Because of this, I got a prime position in one of the cover page of a magazine, which I'll be sharing later with you, ma'am. and Pan India Award in the Classroom Innovation in 2014. Of course, National ICT Award 2010 by Honorable President Shri Pranab Mukherjee then, that was also one of the great achievements. I would try to showcase some of the pictures of those awards I have with me.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. I think some technical glitch, I could not open the file which I am having here right now.
Okay.
Can I lower the presentation, go back?
Sure, ma'am. You can, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Here are the photographs of some of the award ceremony. To begin with, it is National ICT Award 2010 by Honorable President Shri Pranab Mukherjee in the Vigyan Bhavan. And here it is EQFI winner, and award, a laptop was given by Chairman then, Shri Vineet Joshi ji. Okay. And the National Tata winner by Tata Consultancy Award, this is here, where Commissioner Gujarat, then Mrs. Jayanti Ravi Ranjan, she was the chief guest to do the honor. And the Honorable Mention Award, I won here. And Delhi, one ceremony was held by the Thinkers people. And this is one of the Special Mention Award by for Best Practices in Teaching by NIT Delhi in 2008. This is again national winner with ITLA. In this particular picture, I am with Dr. Kuntia, who was Education Secretary to India and Asia Pacific winner, over here. So these were some of the achievements, So coming back here once again to, that was my professional competence, personal graph enhances, but of course, with the support of my KVN officers and the students, my school also won award for which I worked, So one of the major award was the School Leadership Award by Oracle in 2007. We won a trophy and received a color printer. You can see here in the picture, received a color HP printer for my school. Similarly, another award was 5th Computer Literacy Award for schools in 2008, where we won a trophy and 1.5 lakhs by Ministry of Communication and Information Technology for the school. Over the journey, right from the day one coming into ICT, I got a privilege to meet so many eminent personalities from India. To name them, Dr. Jayant Vishnu Narlikar, an Indian astrophysicist, amateur professor at Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics. I met him at Ambala when I was working in Air Force School as TGT Chemistry along with the students of 10th class, a very humble person he appeared. Dr. APJ Kalam, Missile Man of India, I met him a couple of times in the conferences, various conferences at New Delhi. Dr. Khandelwal, the mastermind behind Pushpa Gujaral City, Kapurthala, is also one. I was fortunate to meet Sir too. Professor Y.S. Rajan comes next in the list. We all know that he is an Indian professor, scientist, administrator. He has honorary distinguished professor in Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO. I met Sir at Vigyan Bhavan in a conference. Of course, Professor Yashpal, we all know, a great Indian scientist, educator, and educationist who has a number of series of education talks in the radio station also. And NCF is the main, he has contributed, he was the chairperson for NCF. My students online interacted with Sir when we were working on project. Collaboration, now I would like to highlight my viewers on some of the work, a part of work which helped me to grow in this area. That is the collaboration between India and abroad. So I would share, ma'am, here some of the glimpses.
Okay.
Here. I don't know today what has happened, that every time I need to go back. Yeah, the name of the project was pedagogy haha to pedagogy aha. That means it's basically spoke of the butterflies. We choose butterflies as a team. I was the lead coach of the team, and I had one assistant coach and a group of students from north, east, west, and south part of the India, plus a student Elena from Italy. The rationale for choosing this project was that butterflies, the biological resources, they need protection against inappropriate use and overexploitation. The children in class 5th also learn about, the poaching part. That is how that triggered me to opt for this particular project. The need of awareness regarding problem to the butterfly conservation amongst the public, that was one of the key area. Another area was to form a professional working group and a network to study about butterflies at the grassroots level. We identified the various target groups like students from urban, semi-urban, rural areas around the globe. Geographical areas where the butterflies were in abundance or very less in number, like in Northeast, very less in number sometimes, some places, and very abundance in one of the places near Bangalore, Bannerghatta National Park. The scientists who were working on the wildlife, they were also related to butterflies. And of course, the main area was to make government aware of the need of conservation. The butterfly sanctuaries should be treated nicely, to apprise the masses about the interspecific relationship, ecological processes that takes place through smaller life forms like butterflies. So, the butterflies, which are the very important pollinators, so we worked on 50 economically important species while working over the project. We conducted various briefs and debriefs during those days. Of course, because it was early, somewhere in 2004, we started working, and gradually in the same particular school, we carried over the work over the many years. So, making students apprise of what is plagiarism, checking it, adopting project-based learning, sometimes unlearn, relearn, that was one of the rigorous steps which we used to. Of course, running, after the butterflies with the camera in the school campus around the parks to shoot was really a remarkable experience in itself, being an adult. So organizing briefs and debriefs, sometimes overcoming the language barriers, as I was here quoted. Like I was working with Elena, who was an Italian. She was unable to speak in English. So her teacher, Madam Orani, she was to help us. She came to our rescue and she used to convert her language into English and send us. So reaching out to scientists and avoiding, tackling, technological hassles was one. While working in the project, we worked on a couple of softwares like Photoshop CS2, Dreamweaver, Flash CS2, Adobe Flash, GIF Movie Maker. This particular chart shows, the bar graph shows, statistically speaking, how when we started working, the pre-acquired skills, we can see the colors over here, and the post-acquired skills, the increase in the graph. So this shows that learning was fruitful. So these are again some of the pictures by Oracle. This shows how many students and teachers were motivated here. Now over the journey, we have here, ma'am, I would like to share one of the template which I am having with me that will really showcase us that how the things worked. This is one glimpse of the template. We worked on various headings like life cycle of butterfly. See, the beauty is you put a cursor and the image will enlarge. And students have all made these images in MS Paint, one of the very, initial softwares which the students were using. In the school itself, they worked in the laboratories. Then we classified 50 species of the butterflies here. Then it also shows the external morphology. So student in the process of learning, they learned about the external morphology while working. And this diagram is also again done by the students in MS Paint. We spoke about the polymorphism, that how the polymorphism in butterflies, that help us. and they are often, looked to as two different species, but they are not. So polymorphism, then again we categorize into various subcategories. So this rare phenomenon is exhibited, very occasionally by the butterflies. So that is how we took up this. And of course, mimicry. Mimicry is one aspect where we worked on the various butterflies over here. Then we worked on the habits and habitats of the butterfly. Many a times we will find that some seasons we may not get a butterfly. Sometimes we will get only white cabbage near the lemon trees. So what we used to do, we used to keep, sugar syrup around the bushes, especially Lantana camera bushes in the forest area. Forest area means the area which is not usually used by the trespassers, and the butterflies will attract and we would, click the images. So that was really wonderful. Along with the morphology and the various phenomenon, we also worked upon how Chinese and Japanese, they relate butterflies. And of course, where you are Indian, in Bengal, butterfly is considered very auspicious symbol to be on the marriage card. So this was one cross-cultural link. This was poaching, which I mentioned earlier, that we do speak of poaching of tiger, poaching of lion skin, tuskers, but the butterflies, which are so tiny pollinators, they very rarely, grab the attention in the news headlines. So that was one of the key issues that we felt interested in working in this particular sector.
Okay.
In the international market, ma'am, some of the butterflies, they do have very ornamental value and they are sold at the high prices. That is how the whole effort was to, stop this. In the due course of time, we spoke to scientists, two main scientists. One is Dr. Krishnadev Kunte. He has a famous book to his credit, Butterflies of Peninsular in India. And he was then working as postdoctoral research fellow in the Cambridge, in Harvard University. So students used to chat with him and send questions whether, sir, which type of camera to be used, whether DSLR or a simple Nikon camera will do, which is available with most of the people, and where to find the butterflies. So he used to guide us about these technical issues. Another was Dr. Isaac Khemkar. He is there placed in Bombay, Bombay Natural History Society. He was that time at Mumbai and he was writing so many books. So these were the two scientists, those who really helped us, our students, in giving us the information and of course in identifying the various species of the butterflies, which we failed to identify. These scientists helped us to learn over a period of time. We also had some activities, hangman-like fun zone activities, crossword puzzles, and I would like to hit upon this collaboration. The team compressed of Bhavna, a student from Ambala, my parents' school that time, and Harsh, he was from Bangalore. Pariniti, she was also one of the students from the eastern sector, and Elena was one from the Rome. Okay, here, 12-year-old girl, she was there with us. And Sumita from Guwahati. Manisha was also my student at Ambala when we worked, and this is me and my lead coach, Mr. Ashok. So this is how, in this period of journey, we learned so many things while working.
Right.
Here. So next I come to that in this project, we had certain videos also which would work, like videos which were shot by, amateur professionals, like students, using our cameras which were available with us, and we used to shoot those videos running after the butterflies. So one Benagatta National Park was one where we have done such photo shoot. This video was right now available with me. We can have a glimpse of this particular Benagatta National Park. On Sunday, we had gone there. So because it was 4 directions, so the students present in Bangalore, they did the shooting and then they used to send us by email. So this is how we collaborated, sitting at 4 different places only. We collaborated by this mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah. Now here, it is while collaborating, we did face some teething problems or the teething issues earlier. Like when we started, there were no laptops. Even I didn't have a laptop, so we used to work at school with the late hours, of course, with the consent of the officers. There was no internet at home. We used to run, students and myself, we used to go to, cyber cafes for getting the material or texting or emailing to the different people. But yes, over the period of journey, we did have worked and evolved from BSNL network to fiber broadband now. Yes, working late hours in the school without meals had its own joy and own fun along with the students. The most toughest task I found was because I that time was a primary teacher. So working with the students in secondary was really a massive task. To convince those parents to send the students to school during holidays and work with me, that also involved security issues. But it's thanks to those parents who really cooperated, and students and we were free in holidays to use the school infrastructure and work. Now the challenge which we faced, I've already spoken about, that the team of students, they were without gadgets. So courtesy, one of the projects which I won an international project, the courtesy Oracle, my team also won the laptops. All the 6 members, they won Apple laptop. So 4 laptops, right from Apple MacBook to Office, MS Office, and of course to SUSE. All the softwares we have used here. And basically the team depended upon the school gadget because the maintenance cost and the technical know-how, the support at the home of the students was missing. And the buffering thing was the time zone with the difference between Italy and India. So we used to work at night sometimes, and of course the language barrier we used to overcome. Now, fostering scientific attitude among students. Because I learned that if the secondary students can work with me, I should ignite that passion with my primary students, those whom I was working with. So, for the 4 years of research, I would say that while teaching EVS and mathematics, I worked on interdisciplinary projects and came out with one research paper which is published in EAR International Journal, that is European Academic Research Journal, Romania, European Union. So I would like to show you one glimpse of this journal.
Please, ma'am.
I don't know, some technical issues today.
Not an issue, ma'am. You can take your time, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for that. Because it's very difficult to, from that screen to main screen. Yeah, this is the, thank you, ma'am. This is the glimpse of one of the European Academic Journal International, which is online. And the topic was improving scientific attitude among the students of primary children. Now here the journal is basically 23 to 25 leaves journal. The aim here was to present or to investigate the study that impact of various teaching strategies stating that the scientific attitude can be developed among the students of primary 2. We finally, in this particular research paper, a sample study comprised of 95 participants within the age range, say 9 to 12, was taken up. The scientific attitude here in this journal is understood as, package of beliefs, curiosity, objectivity, risk-bearing, intellectual, events, etc. Also, in this paper, it is proven that the attitudes are not innate or not inborn. They can be developed. And thirdly, that attitudes are the dynamic result of the experiences which act as directive factors when the children enters into the new experience. Here, in this project, the need of art was to build an environment, the scientific environment with the students of developing scientific attitude right at the stage of primary. We did not wait that till they go to 11th standard and opt for the science stream. So we conducted a couple of activities here, ma'am. I will just name a few because it's a big issue over here. We have statistical implications like t-test and over test, those statistics tests were also implied. Correlation was also calculated here. But I would like to draw the attention over some of the, activities which we did here in this science research paper. Though the paper was of science, but it has interdisciplinary approach to its credit. Like, well, we started with newspaper reading, PSQ, that is the purpose, survey and the question approach we started. Then we started, there is a chapter in class 5th on super senses where it speaks of conserving the animals, saving those animals. So the postage stamp competition also was organized, so children drew some wild animals to show that. That was one. The science experiments and the maths experiments, they were the regular feature of the assembly for many years before I could release this paper. And podcasting was one of the methods, which I really learned from one of my students. God forbid, he was a handicapped student, difficult in walking and writing. He told me, ma'am, if I can't write, can you please record my audio? So that motivated me to, go for podcast. We used to record the audios. So that was also one of the learning here. And extempore speech was started in all the subjects, which helped my student to gain confidence. Similarly, over the journey, mind maps, line diagrams, mapping skills, and the students who could not draw the correct digestive system, they would go with the line map, so their confidence level was boosted. Similarly, finding books in the library and critical thinking, Venn diagrams, even the day out at orphanage. We have one orphanage here, Mother Teresa Bhavan. I have even taken my children over there so that they develop the skill of empathy. So competing with other competitions also outside the school, that made my students independent. So to culminate, I would say is that the students grew up, they developed themselves in the area of mental organization, analytical thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking, and hence the transfer of thinking over there. Now coming to e-content making, because along with my students, I also evolved myself and learned so many other softwares. So once a project was entrusted upon me, I coordinated a team of principals and teachers from all cadres of different regions of KVS, and we made an attempt to make e-content for all the 4 subjects.
Ma'am, can you make your presentation full screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Yeah. So we developed for all the 4 post-scholastic subjects. We used to work during daytime in the school hours, and during night we used to record those, I will share one video, record the videos at home, because there was because of the soundproofing which will be available at the home late night. So this is how I also learned. And I would like to quote that Dr. Dinesh, who was once there in NCRT, he was that time attached with KVS, so he also visited during the process when there were brainstormings, briefs and debriefs going on. So I would like to show one of the glimpse of that, one of the video which we worked upon. That is on endangered and extinct species. This is the video which were developed by me using pen tablet and a simple tool. Okay, so here using pen tablet we could write the way we are writing here, it is scribbling. So we could write here. So this green shows it is the present situation, and yellow means the species of least concern which are in plenty. The yellow range shows it is a threatened species, and orange shows it is endangered one. And of course the black one shows that these are the extinct species. So using this technical diagram, the explanation of definition of endangered and extinct species was explained to students. This was a maiden attempt to explain the content to students of 5th standard. Over here, next comes to when I said that we learned as a teacher also, I also learned so many things. And of course, the lockdown when it came, COVID-19 pandemic issue, the whole world was going through. I would say I had an edge in a way that Technology was not at all a hassle for me, but yes, the other end was a hassle, like how to teach the young kids with whom I am working, how to teach them. And there were so many students were there from the rural background also. So how to teach them over the phone, like how to download a PDF, how to download a Google Classroom was a real challenge. So we here conducted online in the month of November and December. It's a regular feature, ma'am. We conduct cross-cultural exchange online, Andhra versus Punjab, under the project Ek Bharat Shresh Bharat. So this is one of the glimpse here for Ek Bharat and Shresh Bharat. We worked for Punjab, and there were other end, the Andhra people from the Andhra KV, they worked on their own culture. In the culture of Punjab here, you see a puppet show over here. And this speaks about the journey right from the rural or the Emperor Maharaja Ranjit Singh of Punjab to Golden Temple, Harmandir Sahib, by using these flashcards in English and Gurmukhi language. The whole video represents about the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Virasat-e Khalsa, the famous museum, Rock Garden, Rock Garden, which is the world famous by the Nek Chand. It also speaks about Amrita Pritam, who was a Padma Vibhushan awardee, Flying Sikh Milka Singh, and the king of comedy, Jaspal Bhatti. Also about the rail coach factory in the video further, and of course about the Pushpa Gujral city in Kapurthala. And the latest was Kartarpur corridors. So this video, 2 puppets. These puppets were developed at home. You know, over a phone, I used to tell my students of 5th class that how to create a puppet from the waste. Even my students used to give me idea. If they don't have wheat straw, they may use wool for, creating it. Then hearing the dialogue, recording it all over the phone means the simple gadget, I would say, really worked wonder in the ways of pandemic. I very strongly believe that the hi-fi gadgets do really, and the software do really have an edge, but at times children can create wonder with simple gadgets too. So this was under EBSP. Now coming from some of the strategies which we adopted in school as a whole, especially in my teaching process, was in the pandemic, the strategy I made was I divided the students into groups. And during the daytime, we used to teach, and during evening, along with the stakeholders, I used to teach them, and of course, often learn from them. So parents and students, they combined together 24/7, and we could overcome this wave of pandemic, and the learning didn't stop over here. Of course, the internet was sometimes a big challenge for the students, those who were in the rural setup. Now, the tools which were taught to the students with whom I was working was, of course, WhatsApp and podcast towards the messaging tool, Google Meet, Cisco WebEx, and Zoom as web conferencing tool, Google Classroom for content and assignment submission. The beauty here was from my end, because I was the creator of Google Classroom, it had a different version, and the another end was student version from where they upload. So on the phone, teaching them, of course, by screen sharing too, but they were slow. Some students, those who could better understand through phone. So that is why I say that students also helped me to adapt X strategy for X student, Y strategy for Y student. So in this journey, Flipgrade was one portal which my students also fell in love with it, which amplified the student voice. And to my credit, till now, I have 364 videos made by the students. And another was Quizzes and Google Form, which is used as self-assessment tool by the student. Okay. But these tools also had an edge.
Ma'am, it's really quite interesting to know all the information from you, ma'am. But let me tell you that we are in the last quarter of the hour, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. I will rush through it. I will try to complete it very fast. I will just show one glimpse of.
Please, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Then because of the shortage of time, I would say that some of the tools which I also used during the teaching, earlier I spoke about the tools which my student used. Here is some Fetch Library, NROER resources, Diksha portal that came very handy. So thanks to CIT and NCERT for it. Amrita OLEP, STEM activities, Google Earth, 360 Panorama, Jamboard, and School Bhuvan was also a wonderful portal. Psychomotor activities which I performed online, and of course the Android app with various augmented reality that arrested the attention of students. Now the challenges faced were like, of course I said that attendance was 97% most of the time in my class especially, but making student connect with the smartphones or in the rural area was a big challenge for all of us. Enrich teachers also in the pandemic, because that is also one part of our system. So engage the students, teachers into the capacity building workshop. Of course, we all teachers and teachers attended the online FLN workshop in NISTA and Diksha portal and fetched a certificate. So once again, thanks to it. That was really, brainstorming sessions with those self-learning portals. Now, I also contributed toward my organization in a way that at headquarters, which is situated at New Delhi, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, I was one of the members in 2020 for Academic Advisory Committee, and we worked for in-service training program and prepare various modules on it used for teacher training. I was one of the members where only 2 HMs from India 2 headmasters from India were part to it. I was the fortunate one among the 2. Of course, with the team of principals, ACs and DCs over there. And econtent, as I shared the glimpse, of course, conducted workshop for annual academic planning at my Chandigarh region, at the regional level. I had been resource person for primary teachers and headmasters for the workshops ranging from 3 days to 21 days in service courses. I got a chance to be an academic counselor of IGNU for professional development of teachers program, and of course the master trainer. Now, my work was also acknowledged, so thanks to all the stakeholders, like publication of Intel Education Coffee Table book. It includes my articles. Similarly, Digital Learning, one of the famous esteemed magazine. Here, Education World, after the award, I was on the cover page here of the magazine, and the story published. Of course, the week when I represented ITLA, Microsoft, abroad. And in one of the award, one more publication to my credit. And of course, this is worth mentioning, Developing Professional Attitude Among Teachers. This is by IGNU. And here my name and one more of my colleague, ICT Awardee name is here. For teachers, this is a booklet to learn. And of course, our in-house quarterly journal here, Kendriya Vidyalaya Quarterly Journal. This also includes the article. The it is said that work and work, yes, that leads to more work. So recently in 2020, in Shiksha Perv celebrations by our Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan headquarters, an innovation by Chandigarh region was showcased. This is the interface, the second slide shows here. So I used one of the app here, ma'am, like Galaxy Explorer. It's an open source application which shows the mixed reality, and students can have, in hand, so many things in hand, like a system, anatomy of the body, and then can learn. I will make an attempt to show this before I say thank you. So I am making an attempt to show, please stopping the screen share over here, ma'am, so that I can connect.
Okay.
I wonder if I'll be able to show. Yeah.
If not, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
I'm showing because it is buffering. In the meantime, it is buffering. It will take a bit of time to buffer, and I can show that magic, how it increased the attendance of student in my class. So with this, I will say all my heartfelt thanks to CIT and NCERT, all the stakeholders of KVs, the students and their parents, and of course my parents who were always there with me to support me, and my brothers, and of course his blessings, the Lord's blessing, which came to help me learn so many things. This is one of the thing I wanted to show, ma'am. So, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much, and congratulations on your achievement, and we truly appreciate your hard work. I just need to ask you a question, ma'am. Who is your motivator? Although, meanwhile, somewhere in the presentation, I read somewhere that you have written students as gurus, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I would say that, of course, my students are my motivator, great motivator. They were my real gurus. They usually, used to throw the challenge to me every time, and it helped me to learn better and adapt in the situation. So learning in the lockdown also, the credit goes to my students, those who were really patient and could bear me after the school also for learning technology.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am. Here, do you want to say something to our students or teachers, a piece of advice or something?
Okay, ma'am, thank you. Yeah, I would say that to my students that please involve yourself in varied activities, be it working in the farms, be it playing indigenous game, if not golf and horse riding, be it fit2, be it the local games, along with the studies, you learn various psychomotor skills so that you develop better concentration and compete with yourself, draw inspiration from the self, and never, sit idle at home. And of course, one great learning I would tell, which is not taught in any of the universities, that life has good and bad together, amalgam of good and bad that goes hand in hand. So learn to win, but of course, learn when you lose, you rise and win again. So you are the most prized possession of India and of course the world. And to my teaching fraternity across the globe, I would say that please plan rigorously, execute brilliantly, and introspect religiously. That could be the success mantra. And of course, provide opportunities to the young learners and to practice the skill in the safe environment. We can set our own algorithm, make connections with the real world, help to build a sustainable world.
Right. And ma'am, any memorable event you want to share with us, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Because
I guess there are so many.
there are so many, I will cut short. Yeah, because I was a KVN as a student and now I am working in the same institution in KV. So when I said that I was alumni of KV1 Halwara, I am alumni of KV1 Halwara near Ludhiana, where I passed my 10th standard. So there, it was my dream that when I came into profession, and especially I was posted in Punjab, my dream was to visit that school. And I would like to share here very gladly that when I visited that school as an member of academic inspecting team over there, then I, sat on every bench, be it 8th class, 10th class, visited every lab and even the water point, where we used to get goodies during lunchtime.
Recalling your memories.
Yes, ma'am. All the memories, and even the lost and found corner, which used to be in front of principal office, it was still there. So after so many decades, nothing has changed over there. So that was the hot place in the recess. I would say that those bells were still resonating in my ears, And there we were, we enjoyed the freedom of gases if I were a molecule, and of course the order of solids. That memory is still fresh in my mind.
That's really so nice, ma'am. In very brief, we want to know about your future plans, ma'am. What would you like to do now for teachers and as well as students, ma'am? Anything special?
Yeah. Further, I will divide it into two parts, like ICT and the social part. For ICT, I am looking forward to learn and use, of course, the virtual reality and intelligence, artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies, to the extent that they make people more empathetic and make this world a kinder place. And on the other end, like during lockdown also, and some digital initiatives, I have written some, admirations about the passionate people, those who are working in this world. And this, really give us a sense of happiness, a sense of gratitude. So that sense of gratitude gives me meaning to life, to my life. So I would like to continue that with the grace of God and support of everyone, my parents of course.
Ma'am, it's a proud feeling for us to have you in our today's session, ma'am. It's time for me to wind up this session, but thank you so very much for joining with us, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
And all the very best for your future plans, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And dear learner, thank you for joining with us. And it's time for me to wrap up this session here only. But you stay tuned to PM eVidya channel and NCERT official YouTube channel for more informative program. Next one is Sahyog, where we try to provide psychosocial support to all these students. It's time for me to say goodbye to you. Namaskar.